Because everything else is last year.
Pretty good.
He's a little much. So.
I go to the shop and I'm like, oh, I'm getting a lot more. So when are you going to get more?
I didn't want to bother you.
Mike, can you hear me guys?
No, I've been trying to find out what's going on here on the way.
Welcome to the July 11th board meeting. The 6:45 public hearing was canceled. And we will begin our regular board meeting, so if we all rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we pray thee grant wisdom to all who are in authority, that order and justice may be upheld to the benefit of all citizens, and guide us to better serve the people of our community. Restrain those who seek to destroy our government. We ask your divine wisdom to rest upon our leaders to guide them and protect them. Amen.
For the record, all board members are present. I have the approval of minutes, June 6, 2022.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, minutes are approved. Approval of bill payments of June 20th, 2022, voucher number 2022080 to 202200964, with a total amount of $507,000. 575 by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of bill payment of July 11th, 2022, voucher number 202200965 to 2022103, with a total amount of $579,265.33. Could I have a motion, please? Motion and second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Bills are paid. Department heads, Paul Seaman. I know we have some new folks here tonight. I'm sorry, Paul. Any public input, new folks here to talk, or just to observe? Well, this is your time if you want to speak, sir. You want to come up to the microphone, please?
Regarding the new development on Lockport Road between Hoover and Ward, we were wondering.
Excuse me, sir. Can you give your name and address?
Carl Lamacchia, L.A., M.A.C.C.H.I.A., 6212 Hoover Road. We were wondering when it was approved and why the local residents that are being impacted by the construction were notified, any notification was made.
As far as the approval date, do you have any idea when that was?
I believe it was 2011.
2011?
2011 for the original, for the Whistling Spring, that's for the Whistling Spring.
Yeah. It was approved, yes.
Yeah. But then we were wondering why no one in the area was notified of the ongoing construction. We were caught by surprise, sort of.
Well, you know, sir, and I'll just speak for myself, Tim, our engineers, Again, they had to revisit the subdivision to comply with today's standards, but that subdivision was filed and approved in 2011. So as far as notification, I don't believe there was a notification sent out. Typically, it was an approved subdivision, and they started the construction.
Well, we understand that, but just out of common courtesy, I mean, between the noise and the dust, we can't use our yard because of the construction. It's very dry and very dusty. The construction starts at before 7 o'clock in the morning. I understand that improvements have to be made and progress goes on. You understand that, but a heads up would have been nice.
Well, you know, I guess I can apologize for that, but any time that a new subdivision goes in, you and all of us go through the same thing, the dust. And I have met with the project manager twice now. And if you notice, they are working on infrastructure, water lines, et cetera, and he assured me as soon as possible that when they get stone down, they will do dust control. But right now, they don't want to put dust on that dirt because it's going to drag down on the road on the Ford Road. New York State won't allow it. So, we talked to the residents where the road is going through, and they're actually going to try and put up some fencing for those two residents right there. So, I would say the Millhurst has been very cooperative, and if you do have problems along the way, I mean, it's new construction, there's not much you can do to stop the dust, but they have a water truck there, and they assured us that they will be on top of the dust control. As far as noise goes, I mean, and again, anytime you get new construction, there, I guess, some noise. If you find out they're getting there too early, you can call myself or the highway department, and we'll stop them from starting early.
And other thing, do you have any idea who the builder is and what type of housing is going to build it?
This is what
Developer is actually, owns the Straight LLC. In fact, I think that, they will be selling some of the lots.
I was told that there was, what they'll do is they're going to complete the infrastructure now, the roads and everything's going to be in one shot, so that'll be complete. The understanding I heard is that they are looking at selling lots to, any builder who wants to purchase it. So I've heard of some of the developers that are interested, some of the high quality that I've heard, so, and again, I'm not at liberty to say because I can't say for sure, but I understand they're going to be selling lots.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, sure. And, you know, again, sir, if you feel that you're not being treated fairly and there's a legitimate complaint, you call us.
Okay, I would just appreciate it.
I just want time. I live in the same place. My concern is,
I'm hard to hear.
my concern is that we had a new fence going up to replace the wood one, that part of it fell in. And we don't know what the grade's gonna be, we don't know how close you're coming to our house. That's what we need to find out. Because I'm not paying over $20,000 for a new fence, and then we're gonna be at a low grade, I'm gonna have water. I mean, how do you find these things out? We've called, we've come down here before, nobody knows anything.
You know, I would say this, that the town engineers, and Mr. Zuber sitting here, did a review, and it was done previously, but that grading and engineering, it's all been done. And I'm assuming, now you're on which side of Hoover Road, huh?
Our backyard goes up to that.
What's up to it?
Right.
The only thing I can say is that in fact that should have been considered as part of the deed process, correct?
Well, yes, they certainly can't come and do any work on your property, so if you're not just going on your property, you're going to be in impact.
Well, I know, but if they're gonna raise the grade up or something, then I don't want water and more stuff coming into my yard. What happens in the back behind our fence?
There has to be provisions for drainage between your side yard and your backyard. That's part of the design of the subdivision.
All right.
So nothing's gonna drain onto your property. And if that day comes and you feel that they are draining your property, get a hold of the town of Wheatfield, and we'll check it out and find out what the problem is. But that's also been done. The engineering was done.
All right, well, there's a ditch that goes straight through the lot next to us, all the way straight through. And there's also a ditch that runs across the back. So I assume that's gonna be filled in and drainage put in there. I mean, that's usually what they do when they, with houses, right? They put the drainage in the, I just wonder, are they coming right up to our fence? Do we have an easement? Do you have, it's,
You know, again, not knowing where you live and not having the plans in front of me, I can't tell you.
where can we get the plans? Can we get the plans?
It's actually available to the building department for you to review. I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you can take a look, but I'm assuming if they own the property next to you, they can come right up next to it. However, they cannot drain onto your property. They have to have, the provisions have been made to keep the water from your property.
Okay, because we're up higher, but then we slope down on the back and the side into the lot and, you know, because it was,
Yeah, so what would you suggest as far as looking at, drawings for these folks? The building department can have,
They should have some.
So that leaves up to the building department.
Yeah, if you stop at the building department, maybe call and speak with Mike Clock ahead of time, and maybe he can show you a comparison to the grade on your property and a comparison to the grade.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned, because I don't want to start digging for something.
We've had numerous people come in and look at the plans, they're downstairs.
Okay,
That's
so.
not-
Oh, good, all right.
So come to the town hall, downstairs, the building inspector, and you'll see that there should be grades on that topo map, which will show yours in comparison to the property next door.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
All right.
But, ma'am, they should not be coming on your property,
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
They would not have gotten an easement across your property without your permission, so.
Oh, no, they're not coming on my property, but my fence goes, you know, my back fence, I don't know, like, down a little. I wanted to raise that grade was put in, but I want to meet whatever's there so we don't have another ditch there or.
They're supposed to provide for drainage, as they said,
So I'll just look at the map, it should say on there, right?
The plans are available, and our assessor has pointed out that people are already coming in to look at them, so you're more than welcome.
But these were approved back in 2011.
Yes. Well, the original plan was approved, but they had to meet today's standards, so
Right.
pavement, things like that.
Right. Well, see, I bought that house because it was vacant land, it was a farmer farming back there. And we bought in 2017. Now, if that was already approved, why were we told, no, nobody's gonna build back there, nothing? You know what I mean? If it was already approved, then there was plans that eventually that would happen.
I can't answer that. I don't know what
To
to
tell you the truth, I wouldn't have bought that house if that was it. I moved out here because of farmland and being able to breathe and, you know, because we came from the city and.
I think those lots have shown up on the tax maps.
Yeah.
On tax map, and I can access that?
Tax maps.
Yeah.
County tax maps.
Mayor County GIS probably has it.
County GIS.
Okay.
What I'm saying is they've it's been a final subdivision, those parcels have showed up.
And we were told no, it was a private owner. Well.
That was the one selling you the house, probably.
Excuse me?
That was the one selling you the house, told you no, right?
No, we came here.
here 2 or 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah, and asking about it, you know, because 2 years now, the farmer hasn't farmed it, so I said, well, something, maybe he passed away or something, we didn't know, I didn't even know who the farmer was, but he, for 3 years, he had, you know, soybeans and corn and that, and it was nice. I don't want to be butt up to people, that's why I'm asking, where am I gonna be in the back? And I'm sure there's gotta be something for drainage, but I don't want
I
to.
can assure you there was, but I would again, ma'am, suggest that you stop at the building department.
Yeah, I will.
And they'll help you out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, highway department, Elsie?
I just was wondering if I get one thing put on the agenda tonight. I got a gentleman that applied for a seasonal job. It was last minute today. So, I mean, they're few and far between. I've got one guy, I've been looking for another guy. I'm only gonna have him for a month and a half before he goes back to college, but I'll take whatever I can get. His name is Jacob Thomason, and I'll give the paperwork to Matt so he can do a background check.
You guys wanna do a motion, something to the background check?
I'll make the motion.
Second. We have a motion, second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
And I appreciate all your approvals. I know I sent some emails out to you guys for approvals for my windows and all that. I appreciate you guys getting right to it for me. Is that the buzzer says I'm done? And,
Yeah, that's how we cut you off.
well, the people from Hoover Road, just so you know, that subdivision actually was supposed to be in phases, and it was supposed to come in from Hoover Road, and I wouldn't allow that, because I didn't want Hoover Road getting beat up as it is. So that's why they're coming in from Ward Road. Let them come in from a state road, they're made for all that kind of traffic. So I don't know if that's any comfort to you, but at least you won't be getting...
Will you still have a road?
You're gonna have a customer.
Well, you're gonna have a road that eventually comes out on Hoover, but at least you won't be getting all the construction traffic coming down Hoover.
Oh, yeah, well, we're those, one
Yeah.
of those 4 houses that have passed up.
They can also say that people want to work with it out there. No matter what you do.
I can imagine, it's right next to their home.
Yeah, I know it is. I've been over there, and I know it's very difficult when the subdivision goes in. You know, and I say this to the people, to try and be as patient as possible. If there's problems, they call us, and we'll address it if we can. So anyway,
We're not objecting.
Rich, down to water sewer.
All right, anybody that's driven by the water department knows that the outer layer of the tank was stripped off. Empire Dismantlement did a great job on that. They cleaned up good after themselves. They have one thing left to do yet. They're gonna come back and hydro seed around it, but I had them hold off on that because we did go around with the sewer jet truck and actually used the hose and gave it a good wash job on the outside. I guess I'm looking for the board's approval. I talked to Ed today about getting quotes on painting it. If you're gonna use the COVID money, I guess it's gotta go through as a motion for you guys,
But
but
we could put a motion tonight to let him get the 3 bids in for the painting, and then, once that's done, we can use ARPA funds to do the painting.
You can do that at the next resolution, make the actual award.
Okay, so what we'll do is direct you tonight to get 3 bids to do the,
it's gonna be under the amount, so I don't have to actually go seal bids.
okay.
I can just get bids put on it, and, hopefully we get that taken care
Any
of.
rough idea what it's gonna cost?
Somewhere between 20 and 30, somewhere in that ballpark from what I had one guy come out and just give me a quick look at it and see what's what.
We'll do a motion tonight, and we can address the ARPA funds when we award it, right?
At the next one, correct.
Can we do that, guys, so we can get this going before the weather changes?
Is that a motion then?
Not there, not you, yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And, because of the way summer's going and stuff, I wasn't able to get a motion in earlier, but, like a motion to order 10 more Liberty pumps, grinder pumps. Price is gonna be $14,031.58. Any of the places, the normal place I've been dealing with for years on getting pumps repaired, they're short people, things are backed up. I called another place, they're not taking in new stuff. I did contact my repair company today that's done it for years, kind of give them a little how-to and what for on the phone, but, I don't know if that'll help, so in the meantime, we're gonna have to purchase some more pumps.
And these are the only ones that are available?
Those are the ones that we've gone to, and they seem to be working out great for us. They're not clogging up, they're not getting bound up with the rags quite as much. They've got a different design on the cutter in them, so.
Yeah, we can typically do.
Okay, I'll make the motion. And a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's about all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Rich.
Rich, is that 14,000 total or each?
$14,031.58, that is for 10 pumps, yes.
Hey, Rich, while you're there, is there any thought about what color they're gonna use the water tower?
I was gonna leave that up to you guys. I'm thinking white's a good color, but I don't,
Yeah, maybe we could get together and
Sure.
go over different colors.
sure, I mean, Kurt had talked to me about getting the town emblem put on it and stuff, so somebody that deals with colors more than me is gonna have to, decide what's gonna look better with
Sure.
something to put that emblem up against so it shows out.
Okay, I guess the thing is we wanna get a base coat on before we think about the emblem.
And the person that I had talked to said it really didn't matter what color you decided, the price would be pretty much the same, so.
Okay, well, that's something we'll.
I'll get quotes and
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Ronaldi, Recreation Director.
Good evening.
Couple of things, now that T-ball, coach pitch, baseball, and softball seasons have winded down, or at least winding down in the next couple of weeks, I just wanted to recognize and thank the following businesses and individuals that sponsored some of our teams. Pelikanos, Summer Park Pharmacy, Diaz Torito Photography, NFP and Sons, Nickel City Hardwood, Farley Orthodontics, Precious Plate, Mark Cerrone, American Legion, Blue Ox Roofing, Dental Care Associates, and the Niagara Wheatfield Teachers Association. Since our last town board meeting, we've completed, or at least in the process of completing, the following tasks. Painted all of our picnic tables in pavilions 1 through 4, which are the main 4 that we rent out to residents on evenings and weekends. We removed park benches that were deemed unsafe. We fixed ones that we were able to fix with maybe a board or 2. We painted actually all of the playground equipment and benches at Mario Park. We painted most of the equipment at Fairmount Park, excluding one of the swing sets that we should finish this week. We pulled out the corkscrew slide that wasn't to code. It was also cracked at the bottom. It was something we wanted to get rid of in the long run. We kind of replaced that with the equipment you approved at the last board meeting, so that came out along with the blue climber and also old steel, not really conducive for what we're trying to do anymore. We ordered and received 100 yards playground mulch, which has been delivered. We are putting that in our playground sets, swing sets, gravity rails, pitch flake, 3/4 of the way done, so we should be able to finish that either this week or next week. We hosted the annual firework display out behind Park last week on the 4th. I want to thank our constable department, the Niagara County Sheriff's, St. Johnsburg Fire Company, Burke Coast Fire Company, and Tri-Community for making that a safe event. And I did talk to Constable Connery, and he said we had no incidents. So they really did a great job for us. We're also in the process of landscaping the pathway around here. We've been getting here when we can, but our pilot is dwindling.
I see it.
So, work in progress. And towards the end of this week, we'll be putting up our signs at various points in the town for Wheatfield Family Picnic, which has taken a 2-year hiatus. We will be hosting that Sunday, August 14th. Flag raising will be at 11 a.m. In the coming weeks, months, we're going to be tearing down the old batting cage fence along with the nets. And we're going to rebuild it to make it safer, more accessible for our teams that do use it. And we would like to paint our concession stands. We want to patch that up, paint it so it's not like 2 tiers and kind of blue on the bottom. We'll make that nice for Actually, there was one last thing. I am meeting tomorrow with Councilman Doctor and a resident lives on Steed Road. Her name is Terry Newman. She had reached out to me. She had spoken to Kurt about potentially getting a inclusive playground at Fairmount Park. Something we don't have. I do think it's something would be great to have. She, I believe, is in the field. I know she works at Niagara University. I don't completely know her background. I hope to get that more locked down tomorrow. See exactly what kind of expertise she does bring, because she is pretty passionate about the project. But we're talking about something similar to what Pendleton has for Mason's Mission. And there was an article that Kurt had recommended I read that was in the Tribune about Town of Lewiston, and then also Town of Amber, and there's different ways to get funding. We're at like an infancy stage of planning, but we do plan on meeting, kind of seeing where things go. I don't know, Kurt, if you want to add something now or in your report.
That was a really good update. It's just, you said it, but just to reiterate, we're just trying to figure out if it makes sense for us. But I think we have some things going for us at Fairmount. We already have the accessible bathrooms that are there. So
that was the one thing that Carrie did mention, is that both Hamburg, Lewiston, Tom Fountain, none of them have the ADA accessible
What time is that
drive.
meeting tomorrow night?
6 p.m.
One of the things, and this is something the town board has not discussed, and just to bring up to date, Mike and I did go to the Pendleton, playground, for the handicap accessible, and I was really impressed. I took a bunch of pictures of it, and I think Mike was impressed. And the thing that I thought was neat, that all of the kids are playing on, and it was getting use from everyone. And I think it'd be wonderful, and, you know, one of the things we haven't even talked about, something like this, how great it would be for the town to have something like that. One, we discussed phasing it, and I'm sure that's what they did. But the other thing is, and maybe the town board would think about it, I don't know. You know, we have an amount coming for, I don't know, $925,792 coming any day now. So something, even if we took a portion of the money, and then I don't know if that's something, but it would be, so Ed's shaking his head, yes, Mike, it's something maybe the town board would be thinking about putting some of that money toward the playground. And I think what a great investment that would be in the town and for the residents to do. So something we could talk about with the board members when we get a chance, but I think if we could even pay for phase one out of this to get a start, that would be something we could do right away. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm gonna try and make it if I don't have to go into town.
Right, and I think there may be opportunities for us to evaluate options for grants as well, so I don't know if that's something we can get. Grant writer thinking about.
The answer is no. She's not going to look back, but she didn't know that before. But that's not something we are talking about. So I know we talked about all these things that we want to do it, and there's something that we could do with the benefits of all the residents.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, well, Mike, by the way, I know we have a resolution coming up, surplus of that tractor, but we get the right there. That's the deal. Because I don't know the day was
The first one I gave you, Matt, was correct.
Okay.
I believe it's in the motion.
Yeah.
Okay.
With that first.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Assessor, Howard.
In the assessor's office, I turned in the final tax roll to the county, this month, and, just trying to keep up on all the building permits and all the new bills that are coming into the town. But I just wanted to kind of throw some numbers out to you that I deal with every day in our office. So the month of May, there were 14 arm's length sales. Those are the sales that are on the market, fair, no relatives, no nothing. So they're strictly legit sales. The total assessed value of those 14 properties totaled $1,267,996. The total sales for those properties were $4,753,785. It is $3,485,789 over the assessed value. So if you divide that by those 14 sales, those houses are selling for $248,984 over the assessed value. It's impossible to keep up with this because I have to use sales from way back when. So all these new build houses that I'm trying to keep up with, I cannot get their assessments anywhere near what they are paying right now. And it's so frustrating, and I get it. A lot of the towns that did revels this year or doing them next year, they're saying it's not fair because the sales are way up there. Our market studies are showing that the sales are still really high. They're not getting 50 people coming at you offering these. They're getting like 10 or 12 people coming, but they're still paying really high value. So just seeing this for 1 month and doing those numbers, it's outrageous. So just kind of wanted to I'm going to start giving you these numbers every month, just so you guys can see what's going on in this town, because it's not stopping here. Okay, you guys brought it up, so I'm just giving you numbers now, so you guys can have that in your head, so, okay?
Really appreciate it, Kelly.
All right, anything else?
Anybody have anything for Kelly? Thank you, Kelly. Constables, Bob Convery.
We want to run a peace officer class again, starting in September. I think I need your approval to get that going.
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, we did it last time.
Because we're using our facilities and they are paying
Yes.
to take the class. Who's giving the class?
It'd be the same person as last year.
Okay. I'll second. The motion is second to allow the town of Wheatfield Constable Department to, what would the official course be?
I should have the email this week,
Okay.
so he says it's looking like the middle of September.
Okay, but the official name of the course?
It'd be just, New York State Peace Officer class, Academy.
Okay, to allow the town of Wheatfield to conduct or to, I guess I would word. Yeah.
Bob, we have under our police and professional insurance, do we have our policy covers giving that class, or do we get a special additional rider?
It covered it last time, so we didn't change anything, so it should still be the
I
same.
would just suggest to double check it before the class actually.
Okay.
Because, we have a relatively new insurance company rule, so.
I will look into that tomorrow.
Okay. So we have a motion, we'll say subject to insurance requirements, and, I don't know what else to say as far as the no cost to the town, I guess. Okay, so we have a motion second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
And we're gonna be setting up another pistol permit class. And I don't know the date on that yet. And we're gonna do active shooter for the town.
Right. Is that to take that date, or not?
That's gonna be 8 for the town of Wheatfield department. But we're gonna try to go outside for the residents.
Okay, but I mean, do you have dates yet for those classes?
No.
There was, the one for town, employees is, I think, August 8th.
Yes.
2 PM. And we're gonna try to do the 2 PM.
Because I thought we were going to do 2 days.
Yes, we are gonna try to do additional ones, because obviously everyone can't make it at the same time.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of Dan tomorrow and find out another date for the second class.
Another thing too, Bob, we should think about is that self-defense or that home defense class that was given earlier this year. Maybe think about doing that again too. That was, more than interesting.
Okay. I can get that scheduled. And then the other one is, I just have, it's under motions, obviously.
Okay, gotcha.
So, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one thing. We have like 14 security cameras here at the town complex. And I know about a month ago, we had a little trip or a fall, and Matt Brooks needed to take the video off so that we could protect it in case we needed it to go to court with. But in doing that, he had to use we have 25 hours of support time from the camera company. Matt used 1 hour. We've got 24 more hours left to use this year. I know we're going through new constables and such, so if they need to, for an hour, get refreshed on how to use the cameras and such, because you guys are probably using them the most. I don't know how much Kelly uses them, or anybody, or Kathy, and any of the other departments in town hall, but the constables are probably engaged with these cameras every hour. And so if you're new guys, or somebody needs to be refreshed on how do I do this, how do I switch from one camera to the other, how do I zoom, we have support time. Don't be bashful to use it, or we're gonna lose it.
Okay, I'll put that out tonight.
Okay, I think also if, more than one constable, they can sit together and a couple guys and share the same hour.
Matter of fact,
Training time.
sorry to interrupt, Matt, but we do have several constables that are qualified in the cameras now.
Okay.
Very good. Good. Eric is one, and, I think the fellow who's here today is also very good on the cameras.
Oh, Don? Yeah.
Yeah, so, but we continue to make sure that the new people are trained.
Yep.
Okay, good idea. Okay, Ed, you have something for us?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do have some good information for the town. I received a notice from the New York State Department of Budget that the town is going to be receiving its final allocation of its American Rescue Plan Act funds sometime within the next probably 30 days. That's gonna represent the final 50% of our grant allocation. We're gonna be receiving $925,792.08. It's gonna be automatically deposited into our bank account. That's gonna bring our total grant award to $1,851,584.17. So far, including tonight's resolutions, the town board would have committed or obligated approximately $337,611, which basically have a remaining balance of $1,513,972. Those funds need to be obligated or committed by the town board by the end of 2024, December 31st, 2024. The funds have to be spent in total by the end of December 31st, 2026. The reason why there's a 2-year span is, for example, the board could award some kind of construction contract, which is going to take time to complete. So the funds need to be obligated by the end of 2024, and the funds need to be spent by the end of 2026. Anyone have any questions or comments? The funds can be used for pretty much almost any general government services, with very, very few exceptions. It cannot be used for pension costs. It cannot be used to pay debt service. It cannot be used to replenish reserves. And it cannot be used to pay any judgments. Anything else is pretty much at the board's option.
You know, Ed, I just touched briefly, and not to put you on the spot, we talked about maybe this handicapped playground. Is that something we can do?
Yes,
Just something.
because that's a general government service. It could be used for that purpose.
So maybe we'll get some prices and just see what we can do, and that would be a great thing for the town. We could, in my opinion, I think. All right, then, anybody have any for Ed? But of course, there's enough money for our trip to Aruba.
No, I don't think so. That's not allowable. All right, thank you.
Okay, what want to do this?
Good evening. We really don't have any formal agenda items for you this evening.
We did repeat some motions that we had at the last meeting. That was to begin a secret coordinated review and schedule a public hearing for our code changes. But those are certainly not under any time constraints, so those can be tabled again if you like. I understand we may want to have another meeting to discuss some of the specifics of those.
Yeah, just to interrupt real quick, I know you and I had talked earlier today. I think rather than put it to a motion for the seeker, we had talked about getting together with the board, you and Drew and the fellows here. And I know you had a couple of dates, if we could give me those dates now.
Sure.
Date.
Sure. So the dates we have for Drew and myself are either the 19th of July, that's a Tuesday, or the 27th, which is a Wednesday.
I mean, you guys would be available to pick a night now or not?
I'm fine either.
I'm good, the 19th or the 27th. Well, you know what, Kurt, I mean, what if, we have a soccer meeting?
We still have the Zoom license, we could, if there was this amendment.
I could zoom in on the 27th.
Well, it's up to you, Kurt. What I was gonna say.
We could also look for availability dates with Drew in August if you want.
And we did have a couple of others that were
Why don't we see what Drew has available in August, Okay, they get back to me. All right, so if you would do that, so I'd appreciate it. I will. And we really don't have anything else for John for this evening, so unless there's some other questions, I guess it probably, I should give you a quick, subdivision update. Obviously, there's some streets started. We have phase 3A in Brookfield, that's the next little section. I believe they're getting close to do the final grading on the road base for that. The gutter curbs and all the utilities are already in, so it's just finishing the road for that phase. Beetle Chase, is essentially complete. They've been working on punch list items. I got notified the other day that they think they're done, so we need to go out and check those again. Timber Lakes, the last phase, in Timber Lakes is under construction. Water and sanitary are almost done for that, and they're working on storm now and probably boxing out the road soon. They're going very quickly on that one. I would expect probably by the end of the month, that one is going to be pretty close to be done. And I think that's it, with the exception of I did hear that they were going to go back over and start working on that trail that was at the Woodlands patio homes, the trail around the retention pond across the spillway. So all of our PAPs are starting to be completed and that's done in just a couple of minutes. Thank you, John.
I got a question for you. The money that we talked about, or had talked about, my pet project that's going nowhere is repaving and fixing all the handicap accessible in the back of the town hall. I guess at what point can you give us an estimate, engineer's estimate for, I mean, are we talking 50, we talking 100, we talking 200, come up with a plan, do some surveys, just to do the engineering portion of it?
Just for the engineering, but
Can you give me,
we can put a
give us
proposal
just a
together.
number for the next meeting, as to what we would be considering to do this? From the door out, grab onto the handrail waves it. I know, I need it. Parking lot, drainage to it, I've said many times, the parking lot is flat, water sits on it, we need to get some drainage. Somebody's gonna slip on the ice, someday, you gotta walk through puddles. That's my pet project, and I guess I'm gonna keep on it till we can.
Yeah, we can put together some numbers.
I would like to know what we're talking, and we got till 2024, maybe we can do something else. Plus or minus 20,000, we're talking 100, we're talking 150, we're talking 200, I don't know.
All right. I think also a good point too is the entrance of the town hall, the railings, and it really doesn't comply with handicap accessibility requirements.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, and it doesn't make sense to do one or the other.
Open the door, out.
Right, because, I mean, the other thing that you can look at there too is options, we're trying to promote drainage across the property, across the parking lot. You can actually lift the property, the parking lot, lift that up in elevation to help cut down on the grade differential we have in front, so it's gonna help push that water across the parking lot to the other end. So it's kind of like a minute goal.
Give us a ballpark number, and we'll see it in a month.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let's see, motions. Afterwards.
Okay, couple motions from Wendell. First one for 2022 code revisions pursuant to 6176 NYCRR, Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law, secret. It is the intent of the town of Wheatfield to establish itself as a secret lead agency and conduct coordinated review of proposed revisions to the town code, Chapter 200 zoning, Chapter 169 subdivision, and Chapter 198 wind energy systems. The Wheatfield Town Board authorizes Wendell to provide assistance in completing this coordinated review process.
Before you finish the motion, is this related to the solar only?
No, this is for the code.
Okay, so we're gonna put that on hold.
These first two
We'll hold on.
All right, so we're gonna hold the first two then. All right, then moving to the, regular motion package, first one from the Highway Department, to approve and authorize a request of Paul Seaman, Highway Superintendent, to purchase a plow frame from Valley Equipment for $9,300, which is the lowest price bid of the three bid requests to be paid from the Highway Shop budget account DA 5130.0400 of 2022.
Have a motion, please.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion from the Recreation Department to authorize the Recreation Department to declare a 2008 New Holland, and this is a tractor strike backhoe, TN75DA model, serial number HJEQ 59567 as surplus equipment, and to allow the Recreation Department to place said surplus equipment on the Auctions International for sale.
So moved. Motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion from the Budget Director, the town board hereby approves and authorizes the use of a portion of the American Rescue Plan Act grant to be used for paving and resurfacing the following streets in the town: Lincoln Drive from Eric to Ward Road, Steve Road from Nash to Eric Road, at a total estimated cost of $102,750,000, purchasing materials and supplies from Lafarge North American Inc., Suit Coat Corp., Midland Asphalt Materials Inc., and Cambria Asphalt Products, and Donegal Construction Corporation from the Niagara County Department of Public Works Material Bid Book, sealed bid number 2022-22.
Motion, please. So moved. Motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion again from the Budget Director, resolved to approve amendments to the 2022 General Fund and Highway Fund budgets to provide the estimated revenues and budget appropriations for use of a portion of the American Rescue Plan Act grants to be used for paving and resurfacing the following streets in the town: Lincoln Drive from Eric Road to Ward Road, Speak Road to Nash Road, from Nash Road to Eric Road as follows, and that's presented in the motion package.
Motion, please.
Second.
And all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion again from our Budget Director, resolved to approve amendments to the 2022 General Fund and Water Fund budgets to provide the estimated revenues and budget appropriations for the use of a portion of the American Rescue Plan Act grant to be used to remove and dispose of the outer layer of the former water storage tank at 3113 Niagara Falls Boulevard as follows, and that's as presented in the motion package.
So moved.
Motion and second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion back to the Highway Department. Be it resolved to approve and authorize the request of Paul Siegman, Highway Department Superintendent, to approve the proposal of Roberts Roofing for $3,600 to replace windows in the Highway Department's office, which is the lowest responsible bid of 3 received.
Can I get a second? Second. I have a motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion again from the Highway Department. Be it resolved to approve and authorize the request of Paul Siegman, Highway Department Superintendent, to approve the proposal of Milco for $2,940 to have the Highway Department oil separator cleaned, which is the lowest responsible bid of 2 received.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion from the Recreation Department to authorize and approve the request of Mike Bernali, Recreation Department Director, to approve the proposal of Niagara Implement Inc. to purchase a new Kubota L250-2501 HST tractor with front bucket under Sourcewell state bid of $23,449.98 to be paid from the Recreation Department 2022 budget.
I'll make the motion.
Second, let's just, we talked about using the highway, bucket, or whatever they call it, the lift snow, rock salt, for recreation. Are they gonna be doing that, or?
No, we just finish this motion first, and then I'll talk about that. Because this tractor is, baseball field and everything else.
Okay.
This is one of the the other one they have to talk about.
Okay.
So we got a motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. You want to bring that up as part of your report?
Okay.
Next motion from the Recreation Department. Or actually not Recreation, this is the Building Department. Be it resolved to issue a request for proposals for window replacement at the Wheatfield Town Hall, with proposals due by, and this is for the board to decide, date and time of 2022 at the Wheatfield Town Hall, 2800 Church Road, North Tonawanda, and to be opened on a date and time of the board choosing at the Wheatfield Town Hall, 2800 Church Road, North Tonawanda, New York.
You know, why don't we, only because, you know, Mike's having some issues with his son right now, why don't we shoot for bid opening? Yes, let's do some. Okay? So, proposals due by, what do you want to say, at the end of time?
We usually open at a board meeting, so it'll be a board meeting thing.
Okay, so September 12th?
We would be due September 12th at what time?
Noon?
It's due time first.
So it'll be September 12th, then we can open it. Is that okay with you, Tom? Sure.
So, it would be opened at September 12th at 7 p.m.? Okay, so with those amendments, that's the resolution.
Due by noon on September 12th. Okay, then we have a motion. So moved. Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion back to Ed Budget Director. Be it resolved, the town board does hereby approve the following 2022 budget transfer for the general fund as follows, and that's as presented in the motion package.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion from the Recreation Department to hire summer seasonal helper Michael Richbart as tennis instructor for the town's tennis camp at a rate of pay and pursuant to job specifications of the Recreation Department's seasonal help pending human resources approval and a Niagara County criminal background check.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion from Water and Sewer to authorize Water and Sewer Department to rehire seasonal helper Victoria Spring starting July 14th, 2022 at a rate of pay and terms pursuant to the job specifications of the Water and Sewer Department's seasonal help pending approval of human resources and a Niagara County criminal background check.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion from the Water and Sewer, whereas due to a cost increase to the Water and Sewer Department for water meters, brass, copper, as well as the cost of increased labor and fuel costs, the Water and Sewer Department seeks to increase certain rates, and whereas water fees have not been increased since 2018 and others since 2007, now therefore be it resolved, the following Water and Sewer Department fees are increased effective August 1st, and that's as follows as listed in the motion package. Be it further resolved that the water sewer compliance inspection is currently at $50 to be increased to $80. It's further resolved that the sewer tap fees are to be increased from the current amount of $750 to $1,000. And it is further resolved that the water phase fee for subdivision fees are to be increased from the current amount to $1,000. And it is further resolved that the meter transfer fees are to be decreased from the current amount of $311 to $275.
Just one question, Richie, why the reduction in the meter transfer fee?
Because the original meter transfer fees were based on the price of the meters, and we figured that the transfer fee didn't need to go up with the meter fee itself, so we actually gave a small deduction on that. It equaled itself out.
That's it. So now we
Have a motion, please?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And we have a couple of supplemental motions. Let's find those. Okay. First is from the Recreation Department to approve and authorize a request from Mike Rinaldi, Recreation Department Director, to engage Caparella Concrete to power wash and seal concrete in front of the Senior and Community Center for a contract price of $3,800, which is the lowest and only price bid received of several bid requests.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion from Ed to approve an amendment to the 2022
general fund budget to provide the estimated revenue and budget appropriation for the purchase of a Kubota tractor for the bucket under New York State contract for Recreation Department as follows, and that's as presented in the bid package, or excuse me, the motion package.
Motion. Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And then we had one last late motion, came in this morning from the Constable Department, motion to hire Michael Rodriguez as a part-time constable at the rate of pay and terms pursuant to job specifications of a part-time town constable and pending approval of Human Resources and Marion County criminal background check.
Just so you guys know, I did interview the gentleman this morning, more than qualified, and would be a great addition to the council. Thank you for your short interview, so I'll make the motion.
Yeah, training?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And I have no further written up, except Kathy, did we need a motion to schedule a public hearing? I don't have the name with me, but it was a legal, for scheduled public hearing for our next board meeting, for Mr. Chihuahua on County Road for a, I can read the change in the language last time. An excavation permit for Stephen Chihuahua at 6452 Shawnee Road for a proposed pond of 200 feet by 145 feet pursuant to Wheatfield Town Code Chapter 92, requiring a public hearing and a permit authorization by the town board. So, I guess I would suggest it be for us at the beginning of our next board meeting. If that works for you,
So make it that, we'll take a lot of time, look at 6:45, and what's it? August 1st.
that's it.
Board members, Larry Howard.
You don't need to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll make the motion.
Second.
And a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Larry Howard, round four,
Got a few items. The supervisor and myself, we received an email from Victor Montalvo about the Wheatfield LDC. It's a local development corporation that the town has. We have no outstanding grants. We had two, they paid them off, Pelicanos and Jacob's Ladder, two success stories in the town. And I guess we can only have two grants open at a time. But I guess, any businesses that, think they want to go through expansion and have job growth and that related, they can apply for these grants. But the other good news is the Wheatfield LDC has $97,000 in its coffers. So, and we're looking for ways to distribute that to some of the businesses in town. Secondly, on not the census.
Maybe we could use the money to replace the sound system in here. Got all that money coming in.
I got my government technology magazine. I get that a quarterly edition. I don't know, Paul, did you get that magazine at all?
No.
They're getting ready, and I don't know whether you've heard this yet, but electric cars, they're going to be putting something in the blacktop. It's going to be green blacktop pavement that will recharge electric cars. So you think your blacktop is expensive now, wait until they start putting something with electricity going through this blacktop to charge electric cars. It just caught my eye. I didn't have the whole time to read the article. I got my mail comes right at 5 o'clock. But
where do you walk on electric?
You probably can't drive on it when it rains. I don't know.
I would advise them still to carry their electric or their gas generators, which I see.
But I take it you've not heard of doing this yet.
Not heard a thing. Hopefully I'll be gone. Hopefully I'll be gone before that comes up.
And then I know we approved some sales to Auctions International, and we got some new equipment coming in for recreation. And the town board's been out there with Mike talking. I I know where we left off with, using the one, backhoe or whatever that they used to travel from recreation to the highway garage to local salt.
Just so you know, Larry, and probably it was part of my report, just to let you know, I did meet with Dave, Mike's foreman over there, and we're making a list of surplus equipment, including the backhoe that's coming off the one tractor. Mike, you're gonna give us a list of the surplus equipment at the next meeting. We actually went through it, which is quite a bit. How many pieces are we looking at?
I think there's like 14. I have a meeting set with auctions. They're coming out to my shop August 4th, and they're gonna take professional pictures of everything.
Okay.
So I'm gonna present it on the board meeting at the 1st to get everything surplus.
Jim, my question or my concern was driving a backhoe or a high lift or whatever we're driving from the recreation and Steve Road all the way to the highway garage. They already have equipment there that can load salt in the truck. I just wanted to know if we could utilize.
We talked about that, and with the backhoe coming off, he's gonna have to load the back tires. That was 2,500 pounds.
Yeah.
It's
1,500.
a lot, much more maneuverable machine. And, we did talk to Paul a few weeks ago before on vacation, to help train some of his men to use that loader to load salt. Okay. So it's just a matter of a little bit of training with, Mike's operators. And if necessary, if that loader's not available, he will have his own loader without the backhoe on it.
Yeah.
So, it'll be in good shape. And even this new machine they're getting, it's a smaller tractor, that we could see, nice piece of equipment, all remedies, just like me, it's much, it's a smaller machine.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. What do you say?
I don't have anything.
Thank you, Bill. Kurt Doctor.
So Tom, I don't want to steal your thunder if you're going to talk about it tonight, the military vehicle event. Okay. You're going to talk about it? Okay. Thank you for doing it. That's all. It was great. I attended. It was fantastic. Second thing, I don't want to steal your thunder, Supervisor, if you're going to talk about the thank you letter we received about common building. You talk about that? So, Captain, it was you that received the letter from the resident. We often hear a lot of bad stuff, when something goes wrong. We had a resident that went through the trouble of putting together a letter talking about their experience. It was a very good experience. I think the offices that were called out specifically were clerk's office, water, sewer, and highway. So I just wanted to say thank you for everything that everybody does. I don't think we often take the time out to recognize all the good things that are happening. That was one of the employees are doing. So thank you for all of that.
I think you guys are all copied on that one.
Yes.
So it's nice when you get somebody that's complimented.
Paving, I'm noticing a lot of paving around town. Paul, you and the team, you guys do A+ work. I just wanted to say that all the roads that I see that are done are just done well, done right, and thank you for that.
Might hit you up for some more money later on.
WEV, Wheatfield Enhancement Volunteers, a couple things I wanted to mention there. First of all, we have another meeting coming up on the 19th for everybody, anybody interested, 6:30 at the community center. We had, one of our members, Julie Otto, do some additional decorating this year. She was bunting up on our gazebo here at Town Hall. I thought that was fantastic. Some additional American flags, and we also, as always, decorated the corner of Nash and Niagara Falls Boulevard. I thought that was nice as well. And finally, I really hope by the time we get together next board meeting to be able to report that we have firm 33 approval on our sign project for Nash and Niagara Falls Boulevard. Nothing yet in 4 weeks since we resubmitted. It's been a struggle. It's been a drag, to put it lightly. But Supervisor, if you have any ideas for maybe folks we could reach out to,
I'll give you a contact. I'd like to reach out to them, because sometimes it makes them hit.
Yeah.
Or if you get a chance, just text me a number, give me a call tomorrow.
Thank you. I will do that. And then, let's see. I think that's it for me.
Thank you. Randy?
I have two things for Paul, but Your paving's better on River Road, I see the joints coming apart. When was that done, a year ago or two, the state, the contractor, River Road? The joints are coming apart already, I saw it the other day. Anyhow, don't let your joints come apart. And the other thing is, in January, you talked about snow. And I said I'd remind you in July, it's July. Remember about people pushing snow across your roads? Have you given that any more thought? No? Well, it's a reminder, I told you I'd remind you in July. You want people-
actually,
You want
yes.
fines for people pushing snow on the road or what across the
We
road.
actually, you're right, I thank you, Randy. 'Cause I mean, I don't think about it now, because I don't see no snow, but I really would like the board to consider some kind of licensing for professional plow drivers in this town. It's not about making the money, but it's about them having some kind of plaque in their truck with a number on it. So when we catch them pushing snow into the circles, leaving it out in the middle of the road, we can take the number down, they can be notified and told, listen, you're gonna lose your license to have a plow contract in town of Wheatfield.
You know, Paul, and, I mean, it sounds great, but personally, as soon as you start the licensing, who's gonna track the licenses, who's gonna track the renewals, who's gonna track their insurance? I mean, is your department gonna do it?
Not a license, just a permit. They gotta come in and get a permit if they wanna have
With
a...
that permit, they also have to provide their insurance, and there would be a fee because the town would have to perform it. What I was thinking, you wanna do that, do something in a local law which gives the constables a responsibility, no matter who it is, to take it. Okay, so no matter whether they're licensed or not licensed, to ticket somebody pushing snow on the road, all you need is a license plate number or to catch somebody and give them a ticket.
Either way.
But, I mean, to me, I'm just saying, it would be, what do we have like local laws or something?
Well, we don't actually need a local law, it's already in a state law.
There is a state law, I don't know if the constables could do it because that would constitute a traffic stop if they're actually there.
That's something that we can look at, or?
Well, I think we could, I mean, or we could, suggest that residents report it and the sheriff would be happy to traffic stop over moving vehicles.
Well, I mean, that's a possibility too. The reason I say that, years ago, we were going to do a licensing of snowplow drivers on the building inspector. And all the other towns that I had talked with were abandoning it because it was such a problem. Because, again, you have to catch somebody, identify their business, most of them didn't have any identification on there, they had to provide insurance, plus the renewal every year, it became a nightmare. So, that's why I say, you know, it's a great thing to talk about. But doing it, enforcing it, following through on it is another thing. I can't believe we could pass it on to the building department, so who's gonna enforce it, that's the issue.
But they can't force pay it now, so.
So, to me, if there was someone that has the authority, whether it be a constable or issuing a homeowner a ticket for violation, you know, I don't know.
If we were gonna do it against the homeowner, we would have to add that to,
Well, we're paying 2 sheriff's deputies, aren't we? We're paying 2 sheriff's deputies now to serve the town, aren't we? We have them go out and do it too.
Well, I mean, they would have the authority to do it, but we need a local law, we need something.
No, there's a state law already that the cops could use.
It's already state law that, you know, the question is enforcing it, how do we enforce it?
Well, just remind them.
Well, we can do that, we can notify our deputies, if somebody's pushing snow out into the road, typically, you're not gonna hear about it unless you get a complaint from them. And I agree, I see it happening all the time, Paul. I know what the problem is, it's just a matter of coming up with a local law and enforcing it. It's a nightmare. So if there's something that we can look into, whether our constables could do that, because it's a moving violation of the problem.
Well, it's not a moving violation, it is a state law, I'm not sure if it's a traffic law.
But we need tickets now for parking on the road in the middle of the night.
Right, but that vehicle is, it's not a traffic stop, that vehicle is vacant, so you're not stopping an individual, you're just putting on the issue, whereas if you're gonna pull out over a person that's actively following into the road, that constitutes a traffic stop, which our constables don't do.
Well, that's what we think of maybe somebody said, if we can remind our constable or our police, when we're heads, if there's somebody pushing it out in the road,
I mean, certainly the public ought to be advised, they can report to the sheriff if they see it happening.
maybe it's something we can put on our website to
We do.
make people aware.
Yeah, right here, the state laws, Article 1219, the New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law, makes it illegal to put your snow into a street or highway. Thank you for having that. I was looking for my...
Yeah, I don't think we question that, I'm just questioning how do we enforce it or stop it, that's the problem.
I mean, if it's going to be something witnessed, with a plow driver doing it, then we need the sheriff to pull them over. If it's going to be something where you're gonna cite a homeowner, I think our constables probably could by leaving a ticket at the door, but, somehow being able to tie to a citizen's property.
But I'll tell you what I'll do, I'm having lunch with the sheriff next week to talk about budgets. I'll ask him if they would, when the winter comes and we start getting it, if they would ticket people and start pushing snow on it. Typically, if somebody does it, they're gonna do it again, start ticketing. I think it's a little bit clearer than hanging up on the public, where they're trying to follow all the rules to enforce it. Randy, you saw it?
No,
The only thing I want to mention that today I went with a young lady from the Greenway Committee, she represents New York State, and I showed her what's happening in Wheatfield as far as the improvements on Niagara Falls Boulevard. And what they're trying to do is tie some of the walking trails, the biking trails, trying to tie them all into. And so we went to Oppenheim Park, and I also showed her how the Whipper Road will extend directly into the park, and I mentioned the improvements that are coming up on the boulevard. They were really aware of the improvements, surprising. And they're also looking at somehow tying in the improvements here, the lights, the bicycle path, and to include tying it into the Veterans Memorial here. But anyway, there's federal monies available, sidewalks, infrastructure, things like that. So they're going to put a meeting together with DOT, Greenway people, Niagara County, sometime here in the next few weeks, try and come up with a master plan, because everybody's talking, connecting north on the one of Niagara Falls, and they're talking about Boulevard, they're trying to come up with a plan to put it all together. We have to deliver right over to the trail that's been proposed, and all these guys are aware of, and we went in off the Williams Road, and we walked in, and I pointed to her, you can look down almost to Liberty Drive, which is going to take little to no infrastructure changes other than the pavement for the walking path, bike path, which would take you right to Liberty Drive. So you talked about maybe phasing that technique, but it's a step in the right direction to finally get some of this thing together. So we'll see how it goes. But sometime in the next few weeks we're going to do it. Other than that, I did mention that Mike and I talked about the surplus equipment, and that's it. Thank you tonight. Anybody else have anything? Tom, do you want to speak? Now you don't.
All right, as everybody knows, on July 2nd, the veterans community, which I'm a part of, put on their first what we're calling summer event. And that included a display for everybody in Wheatfield and the surrounding communities as well. And there were people here from as far away as Amherst, which was interesting to me that they had heard even about it. But that was a good thing. We had Army trucks there, we had Legion riders there, and we had fire trucks. This was all really made possible by the fact that early in the spring, this town board, who I appreciate greatly, was able to pass a resolution not only giving us permission to do that, but supported that. And I thank each and every one of you for doing that back in the spring, and your continued support. I also want to thank the local fire companies who provided both new equipment and some antique equipment, which was a real big hit with kids. Kids were all over those trucks. It was amazing. I want to thank the airport base for providing what they call a crash truck, which was absolutely an enormous piece of equipment. I've never seen anything that big. By extension, there were things done by various town departments who also helped to make this a success. I want to thank them as a group and just say everything, you know what you did. Thank you for doing that. Also, KIA, which is in Tonawanda, they provided the Army trucks, a number of them. Also, Chapter 264, which is a veterans community, again, up in Lockport, they had some connections. They also provided a few trucks to go with that. Sheriff Mike Delasetti was here, and it was a great event. I was very happy with it. During our next meeting, we're going to do a little shakeout and talk together. And between us guys, you know, doing the veterans, we'll talk about what worked, what we didn't see, it didn't work maybe as well, what we can do better next year. So we are planning another event for next year. So again, my thanks goes out to everybody who touched that event in any way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, There's one additional point. So the thing that I think is a testament to all the work that went into the monument, with all those vehicles there, I didn't feel like your monument was upstaged. I still felt like the Huey and the tank and the monument at the very center were big at the top.
Except for Mike Delasetti, you know, we let that pretty open.
That was pretty cool.
Justin brings the additional flags, which kind of gives you the, you know, in French word, the LA look going up to the monument kind of direction. So it really worked well. Thank you.
Talking about upstaging, I had the opportunity to see a video of Mike Delasetti working out with our seniors. I told him I'm going to save him. Next meeting is August 1st, and it's Sunday, we're actually 6:45 public hearing, and the regular board meeting will be on the 2nd.
Just because it's just a schedule and we're all back to protecting back and forth from the group, and some other dates for August. Looks like these usually on Tuesday, August 2nd, August 9th, August 15th. And those work for everybody.
See if I can too.
Shoot for the second. What is that, Tuesday? I think I'm good. Why don't we shoot for the second, if anybody can't make it, I'll let you know ASAP. Okay, thank you.
What time?
6 o'clock? February.
You just won't be able to do it in here because of the court.
That's okay. We can do it in the conference. Okay, our next meeting is August 1st at 6:45 with a public hearing, and 7 o'clock will be our regular board meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor, signify by saying aye. We are adjourned. Thank you for your time.
And by the time we got there, all the people were already gone. I mean, I still was here until 8 o'clock that night, but he felt better. It was that hard, like, one day, you know, and I had spots, and I was scared, because I was home. I was so poor, I was like, 5 years old, or whatever it was. It was really hard because there were 3 years in from it, and I was so under pressure that like, we just took them in. We got them in.